Hey cats, it's your midsole man EDDBUD here. Lots of requests for a video with some comparisons against the recently released ASICS SONICBLAST, a plated and over max stack model here. Today we're going to see how this shapes up against various different shoes, the Zoomfly 6 from Nike, the HYPERION MAX 3 from Brooks, and last but by no means least, the ENDORPHIN SPEED 5 from SAUCONY. Lots to get through, so let's get to it. Thanks for joining me on the channel, it is always appreciated. Firstly, some stats for you all. These are measurements from my pairs of the shoes, which are a UK 11 or US 12. We can see that the HYPERION MAX 3 is easily the heaviest of the bunch here, with the Speed 5 coming in as the lightest. The SONICBLAST and the HYPERION MAX 3 both have above max stacks with 48mm in the heel in my size. The ENDORPHIN SPEED 5 though is coming in as the most expensive of the lot, with the Nike actually the cheapest this time round. We'll kick the comparisons off today with the SONICBLAST up against the Speed 5. The increased stack in the SONICBLAST over the Speed 5 is quite noticeable actually when you get them on foot. There's a little more squash to proceedings though in the Saucony shoe, certainly in the rear of the foot. If you like your shoes to be a little bit more compressive and soft, then I would suggest you go for the ENDORPHIN Speed 5. Similar drop though between both models here. The nylon plate in the Speed 5 feels a little bit more flexible. It's not quite as rigid as the one that we've got here in the SONICBLAST, but you've got a good ounce less weight here in the ENDORPHIN Speed 5. It just makes it a slightly more nimble shoe. It's a bit more exciting and fun to run in. The SONICBLAST foams here that we've got do soften up a little bit over time, but I've not found them to get anywhere close to what we've got in the Speed 5 out of the box. As a lighter framed runner, I just find that PowerRun PB material here just a bit more energizing. It's a bit more responsive. Feels like I can run in my own way here, whereas the SONICBLAST is a little bit more controlling. I mean, you could easily use the Speed 5 as a daily driver, or pretty much do anything well. Easy miles, recovery miles, or some faster clips as well. Feels nice at tempo pace for me, this one. Many still use these as racing shoes as well, a little bit more affordable. And if you want a shoe that kind of does it all really, then the Speed 5 is a good bet. The SONICBLAST is just firmer in comparison across the board. Nobody can tell me that the Flight Foam Turbo Squared in this shoe is the same as in the Mega Blast. They feel completely different. I've had a few people suggest to me that I'm wrong, but I've ran a bunch of miles in both shoes and it's very clear it's a different formula. So quite rigid shoe. It might be better for those heavier built runners out there, but for me, if I had to pick one pair between the two, it would have to be the ENDORPHIN Speed 5. Okay, let's move on. Next up, the SONICBLAST against the HYPERION MAX 3 from Brooks. Now this monster here makes the SONICBLAST seem light by comparison, an ounce heavier than the ASICS shoe, and I do really feel it on foot. I have to be honest, it's quite a chunky beast. The stack pretty much the same, and you've got that sort of firmer, more sort of rigid controlling feel again in the Brooks shoe. These shoes seem to want you to roll through the heel, through the forefoot. They've got predominant rocker geometry in the midsoles, and perhaps it's something that's just not really working for me these days. I want something that's a little softer, a little bit more flexible. There's certainly more grip and substantial rubber on the Brooks shoe. It's a lot deeper here, and I think that's where some of the extra weight is accounted for. There's a lot of padding here in the tongue section and around the ankle as well. The ASICS shoe seems almost minimal compared to the HYPERION MAX 3. Just feels a little bit too overdone and a bit overly present really on foot. Certainly from an upper perspective, I prefer the SONICBLAST. It's just a bit more refined, and lockdown's really easy to achieve in this shoe. It's a bit more breathable, slightly more lightweight in the upper, and it's certainly the better of the two shoes from my perspective. I think the balance of the shoe is a bit better as well than the HYPERION MAX 3. It feels like we got a lot of weight in the bottom section of the shoe. Just feels a bit bottom heavy. This one doesn't feel quite as controlling of my foot strike. As I mentioned before, both of these shoes seem to be set up for you to utilize that extra heel stack. I wouldn't say either are super soft or extremely forgiving on foot. I think if you're a fan of the older Zoomfly Flyknit, then you might really like the SONICBLAST, but if I had to choose one pair, it would certainly be this shoe. It's just a bit more versatile. Need to give this one another few outings and see if I can kind of figure it out. I'm just not there yet. Okay, last comparison for the day. This time up against the GOAT of the plated trainers, the Zoomfly 6. So cheaper than all the other shoes in today's video, and this has a carbon plate as well, whereas all the others have got like a nylon or PB fibre-based plate. As a stiffening element, I just find that this one gives a little bit more. It's a bit more responsive, certainly when you can feel it kind of snapping forwards as you toe off. Now, the combo of foams that we've got here in the Zoomfly 6 isn't quite as soft and compressive as the Endorphin Speed 5, but it's certainly a lot more responsive than the Sonic Blast, it has to be said, and it's a much lighter package too. I think it's a good 20 grams difference in favour of the Zoomfly 6. Yes, it's not as stacked as this shoe, but do you really need all that when you're training? I think unless you're doing extreme long runs or something, then the Zoomfly 6 has easily got enough cushion here. This one also feels better at a range of paces. The Sonic Blast seems to fit into a very specific niche kind of area for me, that kind of cruising speed, whereas this one, it just feels good whatever you're running at. I think if you're going to do like a longer, slower effort anyway, you're going to probably reach for a plateless shoe to do that, so it's not really that much of a concern. I find the grip on the Nike shoe is far superior. Those waffle lugs just seem to be a bit more versatile across different terrains and surfaces. The exposed midsole material here in both shoes is actually holding out really well. I do get some sort of thorns and stuff sort of penetrate into the foam here, but I haven't actually had that on the Zoomfly 6. I'm not sure why, it just doesn't seem to happen as much. I think the ASICS shoes are slightly more stable ride, so if that's what you're after, perhaps you've got a wider foot, you want something that's a little bit more consistent across the footbed, then the Sonic Blast could be great. But the Nike is a real workhorse, and that ZoomX foam, complete with the ReactX underneath, is just very durable. There's some good longevity there. Easily the best iteration of this shoe since the Zoomfly Flyknit. Going back to stability for a moment, there is a little bit more surface area in the Sonic Blast here, certainly up against the Zoomfly, but they're very close. Just find this one a little bit more fun and enjoyable to run in, and that's what it's all about, right? So if I had to go with one pair this time round, it would have to be the Zoomfly 6. I certainly see the Sonic Blast as being the best, really, of the above 40mm cushion shoes that I've got, but I just think I prefer a slightly more grounded option. It's a little bit softer. This is quite a rigid and firm shoe, really. What is your take on the Sonic Blast? Is it working for you? If it is, then I'm really pleased. What is your go-to max cushioned plated alternative? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. Quick musical interlude for you. Today comes from a fantastic band from Bristol, just up the road from here, called Idols, and the song is called Great. What I'd like you to do is pick up your telephone or perhaps go on your web browser and look at the lyrics to this song. I'd like you to sort of read through the lyrics and make of them what you will, because, you know, there's some lyrics in there that are very to the point, and I think you'll get the message that I'm trying to put across, and that is, we're all in this together. Go and check it out. It's called Great, and it's by Idols. Thanks for tuning in, people. It's always appreciated. Hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up like. Also drop us a comment down below for the algorithm. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you